Okay, good morning, everybody. I'd like to call to order the Connecticut State Advisory Council for Special Education Executive Committee meeting for Wednesday, what are we, November 12th, at 9:33 a.m. My name is Missy Wrigley, and I am the chair as well as a parent member of our SAC committee. I'm assuming there's no parent comment or any other public comment.
There is not.
Okay. All right. If we saw the email from Christine this morning, we have to table our minutes, our October 8th minutes to our next meeting. Do I need a motion for that or do I just table it? Okay, so could somebody give me a motion to table the approval of our October 8th meeting?
I'll make a motion to.
Susan and then Catherine will second that. How's that?
Sounds good.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Okay. I send everybody out the so we're on to old business here. Review the updated bylaws. So I sent those out to everybody. I'm pretty sure I have them here someplace. Okay. Let me put them over here. I will share my screen. All right. Does everybody see those?
Yes.
Okay. I can try it again. There you go. Is that better? All right. So we got back Brian's comments from them. And so you can see his comments that are there. And then what he recommended is for us just to review that, make sure everything is where we want it to be. And then I will send it, or Christine will send it out to the full SAC. I will remove the comments, however, and we'll just leave the changes, the tracking changes, but he suggested that we remove the comments from it. So I don't know if you had a chance to review this, if you want to go through it, each of the comments, if you have any thoughts about what's there.
Can we look at membership, Missy?
Yep.
So I know, was it here where we had some language? We can have I'm not sure if we have to change that. So we do, Catherine, maybe change to the, yeah, what were my changes there? Oh, I think we were looking at changing some of the language regarding students. But I think, Missy, you said we can't do this because it's in statute. Okay, yeah, I see Brian said language needs to remain the same. Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that I thought we could, like I changed the number to 38.
Yeah.
And so we
Okay.
have to maintain that.
Right.
Morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, good morning, Brian.
Morning.
Brian?
So, okay, so that was one. And then I can't remember if it was there or somewhere else where we talked about the maintenance of membership records.
Right. So we had over here in section 6, we had added that the SAC administrative support teams at this point in time at CERC and the membership committee would maintain the record of membership activity.
Right. But now it looks like it's just the membership committee that's going to be maintaining the records.
Right.
So
yeah, so my thinking here was that our partnership with CERC may continue at infinitum or it
Got it.
may end at the end of this year. So just looking
Okay.
at the need to update
Yep.
and revise. So, you could, we talk about the support that CERC and the CSDE provide in general. So, you could say the SAC administrative support team,
Okay.
just leave it general like that, even though it's, defined,
Yeah.
that's fine. And then the
Okay.
other adjustments, it's just the wording wasn't quite,
Mhm.
wasn't like, just needed some
Yeah.
tweaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
No,
kind of
no.
maintaining that same concept.
All right. I get it. Yeah. I think if we could have something to the effect of the SAC administrative support team and the membership committee, just because it's good if you have two people who are maintaining the checks and balances regarding membership. Um, so that's the only suggestion I would make. Um, because typically, like Christine and in the past, Jolie would have copies of all the records, as did I. And
Yeah, we
I
always
think
do
it's
that.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I just think it's really important that we're, for example, not losing a membership survey for a potential member or one who's on the council, should anyone ever ask, like, well, where is their survey? So just so that we're positive someone's always going to have a record of the membership information. That's the only reason why I think there should be that kind of a check and balance in there.
Missy, are
Well-
you sharing your screen here?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so we also don't want duplicative, like if there is no continuity between one year and the next for whatever reason, and folks are referring back to the bylaws, it is the responsibility of the membership committee. Like that is their, like one of the main responsibilities. So
Mhm.
we could say the membership committee will maintain a record of the member activity with the support of the SAC administrative support team. So it
Nice.
doesn't seem like, where
Great.
are the records? Are they
Yeah.
with the support team or with the
Right.
membership team in that context? And then for members serving in the for members serving officers in the council or the work
Okay.
members appointed by the chair. So that way, kind of hitting your point, Catherine, and
Yeah.
we won't need to update it probably
Right.
ever.
Yeah.
Not that we can't, I mean, we want to get into a rhythm of looking at the bylaws on an annual basis, probably to see if any tweaks are being made, but it is a process. So
I know.
if there are years that,
That's why I thought, oh, we're doing it now. So let's just see how much we can get in there. So
yeah, does that suggestion seem to work for everybody?
yeah, that works for me. As long as
Okay.
it works for everyone else.
All right.
Thank you.
Missy, don't worry about the formatting. We can take care of that after. Sometimes it
Absolutely.
gets a little wonky there.
Is it with the support of there we go. SAC administrative support team or members or what is, or just with the support
Is it
of SAC?
referred to in the other areas of the bylaws?
I said support team there.
Because the CSDE is kind of described as
Mhm.
providing support to the state advisory council as a
I'm okay.
liaison and administrative support. But
Yeah.
if it's not described somewhere, we'll have to address that.
I thought it was described as CSDE administrative support. I could be wrong, but we want to stay away from the word members because that could refer to that they're voting members. We don't want to use that in two different ways.
That's good.
Yeah, that looks good. Good catch, Susan.
Okay.
I would just say with the support of the CSDE, we don't want to use support again.
Oh, yeah.
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 With
With the
the
support of the
administrative support of the CSD, something like that.
Sure, that works. I would just use, you don't need to capitalize administrative support in that context. But right in front of CS, yeah. Perfect.
Sorry, but I can't type today. I can't think today either, so we'll be lucky if we can get this. Okay. That okay?
Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this next section here with the officers was just a little tweak of words. Instead of saying one or all, it just put at least one, which means the same thing.
Yep.
Because it could be two, one or all would be either one or three. I don't think there's any adjustments in this section. Yeah, and just in this case, like section 5, the CSDE, it means CERC, like our extended team. So
Yeah.
I have a question on section 3. Has it always said that the executive committee is like all of the chairs of each committee, or did we add that?
I
Because
think we
I
added
know that when we asked, like, so for instance, somebody may not have the capacity to serve as a chair of a committee, and then also, as a, like, I'll say for, Jovi, we just asked
Yeah.
her to be the membership committee. We didn't say, would you like to be part of the membership committee and the executive committee? And I think that that could prove to be a challenge. So I'll
I-
just put that out there.
I think this was added. Am I remembering?
Yeah, we
correctly?
added it because there's always a legislative report and there's always the reports, so we had added it, but we can.
Originally, it said the executive committee shall consist of the chair, vice chair, secretary, and immediate past chair, and at least 2 additional members appointed by the chair.
Would it be okay just to leave that then as is? Because that still allows for the chair to have some discretionary appointments, whether it's chairs of legislative and or membership or other people, because I agree with Jen that I wouldn't want to jeopardize someone like Joviana taking over a committee if that would mean, there's also the additional commitment to attend the executive meetings. Or for example, if someone took over legislative or something like that.
Well, could we put down that it would be a membership chair or designee, a legislative chair or designee, so a member of that committee could be part of the executive?
I would, my advice to this would be to give as much flexibility to the chair as possible.
I agree, and I think that's
Yeah.
best practice nationally too.
Yeah.
Because if you pin yourself down even a little bit, you might be in trouble with getting the meetings booked.
Right.
So,
So
but
then would
it
it be,
hasn't been a problem in the past. What's the not concern, but the legislative chairs report to the executive committee anyway. I mean, right? So do they have to attend the executive committee meetings? I think, like, thankfully you've had people who have been able to, but there should be a way to get the flow of information back to the executive committee as needed, but
Mhm.
it's totally up to you all. But that way, whoever is in that leadership position can have, the flexibility and say, without it being stated in the bylaws. So you could go to Jeff. If Jeff can't do it, he's like, you know what, this year I just can't. Then the legislative committee is kind of whoever can show up at any different points in time. So
The other problem
would you-
though is if it's anybody who can show up, we lose the consistency of them knowing what's going on. So if then they become a voting member on the executive committee and they just show up to a meeting, they don't quite know what we've been doing. So that's
sorry,
another-
Susan, the legislative committee people can just show up. I wasn't talking about the executive committee. In the way we have the legislative committee structured right now, you don't have to attend every meeting because it's like, we're meeting tomorrow, whoever can make it, can show up. But the chair is the consistent person there in the legislative. But I think we typically have a list of people who sign up for legislative, but then anybody can come. And then some people don't, aren't able to make it. But the executive committee isn't like a, come as you can. It's appointed.
Right.
so do we put the executive committee shall consist of the chair, the vice chair, secretary, immediate past chair, plus 3 additional members appointed by the chair at their discretion, so that, because you would need to say 3, because if you want the membership chair and the legislative chair or somebody from there, and then Nachi is with us, then in order to account for what we have
Mhm.
now, we would need to put plus 3 additional members appointed by the chair.
I see. So then you would just have an odd number. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. But I don't know if this is just a matter of trying to be formal, but I would think that to Jen's point about just if someone is interested in being a chair, but they can't commit to the executive committee, I think that language would allow the flexibility. But I also think that I think there should be some level of understanding that people who are chairs of committees would provide a report to the executive committee if the chair is not able to come. So I don't know if there's just a way that we can provide that flexibility, but it seems as if we should, I'm trying to think of the word, but it's a best practice for the chair to come. But if they're not able to attend, that shouldn't prohibit them from being the chair. So I don't know how we can include that language, but I do like the flexibility of what you just proposed. Missy.
Other thoughts? I don't, I just want to make sure that we include every, what needs to be there. I agree with you, Brandon, and I
Because it almost seems like a best practice, but I don't think that it should prohibit someone from being the chair because it's a volunteer position. So I don't know.
So then under membership and legislative, should we say that they are to provide a report prior to every executive committee meeting or?
Well, there might not be a report because you
Right.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think we should
Updates?
I think we should be I think that's more of practices and procedures, like our operational procedures versus a bylaws thing. If that makes sense. So I would keep it as flexible as possible in our wording, with who must be on it. And historically, we've always invited members as needed, to our executive committee meetings. So when Tom came in for Jeff, he was part of the, co-chair of it when we had a media meeting to consider legislatively, he came to the meeting, and the chair has the power to invite whoever they want to the meeting. And when Susan was the chair, she let people come, you know, that were interested in shadowing too.
So do we then just state executive chair, vice chair, secretary, immediate chair, plus additional members appointed by the chair at their discretion and not give a number to it?
I'd give a number
All right.
because you're voting and you want the voting to be consistent.
Correct. And if somebody is just coming in to shadow, they're not
That's okay.
voting members, so
Yeah,
they're
that's what
just
Jen
coming
was
in to
saying.
look.
Well, I mean, you'd have to talk through that. If the chair invited somebody for some reason to sit in for, let's say, like in the example you gave Jen, Tom's attending for Jeff. Tom could vote for Jeff, but there's 7 votes total. Yeah, I don't know like how
Right.
like we're pretty formal, but we also have a lot of flexibility, which is I think what you want to maintain. Because you don't want to be canceling meetings for bylaws infractions that are not necessary. But I think a lot of those issues can be handled in the procedures manual that you're working on, so that that could be passed from one chair to the next, so that it's fair. Because people may have different opinions on the voting part of it. But I think it's good to have in any voting committee, it's good to have the set number. Like there are this many people. You had made a comment that 7 is good, so that not that there's ever anything, where we're like split on it usually, but 7's good because then you have a majority 4-3 vote potential. I think that, unless you wrote in that the chair could break the tie. I know that there are bylaws that exist like that have that provision in it.
Yeah, I think for our subcommittees, the chair of the SAT can be a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All right, so give me the wording you want. Or
Well, I
think would
think
be best.
I'm only advising, but I mean, I think you nailed it when you said plus 3 additional members appointed by the chair instead of 1. Now you have, the legislative chair, the membership chair, and 1 other person. If those chairs can't make it for whatever reason, to Brandon's point, you can have somebody else appointed and still conduct your meetings. That seems like a
That sound good, everybody?
good resolution.
Yeah.
We just took out the part where the nominated committee maintains the record and put it in the hands of the membership.
Yeah, I thought that sounded good.
Thoughts on section 7?
The language I added there, Missy, is not new. That's in our existing, just so you know, it just wasn't in your copy for whatever reason.
Didn't have the right copy, I guess.
Yeah, that's the existing language that you all created last year or in 2023.
Okay.
But now's a good time to look at it if people wanted to tweak it or anything, or.
I suggest just this is a stylistic thing when it says every effort will be made to make it every effort shall be made. That would be consistent with down below. Account shall include.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yes.
Should we put cultural backgrounds instead of ethnic backgrounds? Does that matter? Someone can tell me what the wording we're supposed to be.
I think cultural sounds good.
When you refer to ethnic, there's the categories that we report on
Okay, then that's, okay,
ethnic backgrounds, whereas culture is a little different.
okay,
Because we on our membership application, we ask for their ethnicity if they do want to share it, but we don't ask about culture. But you could, Susan, to get to you could add it instead of replacing it,
okay, it's up to,
and then just think about how we would do that.
I almost wonder if even just something like broadest range of representation, because I feel like we're not just looking at different disability categories. We're looking at things like having an adoptive parent on the council. There are a lot of different subgroups that we have that don't fall into that little piece, if that makes sense. Because we're not just looking at race and ethnicity and disabilities, we're really looking at something that's representative of Connecticut,
Right.
to the greatest extent possible.
Yeah, because we look at geography too. Do we have students coming
Yes,
from
yep.
rural, urban, suburban communities?
so basically what you just said, so the broadest range of individuals with disabilities or individuals that represent the range of diversity within Connecticut. Something like that, but I just took out disability, so that's not good.
Broadest
Well-
range of representation.
But broadest range of backgrounds for individuals to serve. Is that okay? I'm just suggesting it.
I'm going with the lawyer.
No, I think Jen has a good point. So broadest range of backgrounds, rather than saying broadest range of individuals with backgrounds, but just say broadest range of backgrounds for individuals, to serve.
I need some wording on this. Every effort shall be made to solicit potential members that represent the broadest range of backgrounds throughout.
If that's okay with everybody.
With disabilities and ethnic backgrounds. Oh, no, we got
Oh,
backgrounds twice.
just all broadest range of backgrounds. Because Jen had a good point. We were also talking, and then everybody had a good point about geographic and socioeconomic, and once we start going into like delineating the particular ones, and then Brian was talking about how the ethnic was used because that's one of the boxes that they check off, so that's why that word was used. But if you just sit there and say backgrounds, it's kind of all encompassing. Or anybody else can say anything. I'm just throwing stuff out.
I don't know that we want backgrounds twice.
No,
So
I'm
Right.
saying
No, I think we're
broad-
getting rid
background,
of
period.
that second
Just
half.
period. Just periods. Yeah, you're deleting the whole, this background
oh,
period.
sorry. So just All right, so it's just every effort shall be made to solicit potential members and that represent the broadest range of backgrounds,
Period.
period.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
that's what I'm suggesting.
Sorry, I'm not feeling well, so my head isn't thinking.
Susan, all I've been seeing on TV is everything about Wicked and singing. You must be in your glory watching all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Music every day of my life. I'm lucky duck.
Every time I turn the TV on, it's like there's something about the Wicked show. It's like, come on, let's go
Yep. They're definitely making money off of it.
on. Can we have you end the meeting with like the big, thing that what's her face does at the end with the ha
No, I've sung that with the symphony before, but no, it's really hard.
ha? Okay, but pleasant still.
We could give it a try.
No. We should start later meetings then.
Hey, Missy, I'm
Hey.
not the English major, but I think para educator there should be singular, not plural.
Special education
Because
educator and
candidates
students.
is plural after and.
Yep.
Yeah. It's good. I think that's a good change that you all made.
Okay. Here we go. Anything else?
Quick question
Sure.
on section 3. It says any people don't come, oh, go back down, wrong section 3. I'm sorry. Article, council operates meetings
Yeah.
in conformance to Connecticut open meeting law.
Yes.
It says number 3, they shall be referred to the executive committee for review, but we don't say who is referring them. Shall be referred by who?
Membership.
Yeah, membership
I would assume
committee.
membership. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because membership maintains attendance.
yeah.
You can add that clarifying there.
Thank you.
Membership chair or just membership committee?
She said,
Go ahead, Catherine.
I mean, you could say the membership chair, the executive committee for review.
Right. Any other thoughts? Somebody had added the word them in here, and then I put a question mark after it because I didn't know what that meant. I changed his or her to their discretion, just to be politically correct.
I think it reads correct what you have. Anyone else?
It looks good to me.
Yeah.
Miss, you guys did a lot of work on this. Really, thank you.
Under in the section 1 in the beginning, second sentence, and when it says council meetings are
At the
held.
very beginning, is that what you're talking about, Jeff?
No, Article 10, no, sorry, right there where we still are. Article 10,
Okay.
Section 1. Says council meetings are held in public places. Obviously, we do things by Zoom, so I wanted to think, held in public places or are publicly accessible. Because we Zoom now.
Yeah. I never even paid attention to that. So yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, right after places, their council meetings are held in public places or publicly accessible.
Yeah, or are publicly accessible, or are publicly accessible.
And I'm not sure if you want to leave in the public seating labeled or not. We don't do that now, but
Seems weird, huh?
we can do it. I think we did back in the thinking of some of the meetings we've had in Southington. I think we put up like a sign on the wall or something, but
Well, let's think about like if we have the next meeting at the LOB.
mm-hmm.
Now, normally we sit all together, then would we
Yep.
label a place for public to sit, or would we? I guess it depends on what room you're in, right?
Right.
But
Yeah,
I feel like
mean,
the only reason it was there was because public were sitting at the tables with us sometimes.
Right.
So
Public-
I don't know.
How about public seating shall be separate from council seating? No? Does that solve that, Jen?
Yeah, I just don't know if it's necessary at all.
At all.
If there isn't an obvious spot, we can make signs, and I don't know that we need to put it in our bylaws, do we?
Nah.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why either.
yeah, I think deleting it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, the LOB, Missy, they can sit in the seating around and then come
Right.
up during public comment and then go back. You know, so maybe we could work with the CERC team to have a public, tent or something if needed, just so we're prepared.
well, anything else then?
Just echoing Susan's kudos to all who worked on this, dude. Great job.
Yeah,
Very good updates.
Well, that would be everybody that's in our little screen here. So, so you guys did good.
Thank you all. I'm just following along.
All right, so we will, Christine, I will get this, we'll remove the comments. And then I will send that to you, to go out to, now, let me know the process now. So they can't vote on it at the next meeting because they haven't had their 21 days to review it before. So we're just going to review it at our next meeting, and then they can vote on it in January.
Jeff, could you explain what the by proxy means at the regular meeting?
Sure. So when you'll have a meeting and it's scheduled to have a vote on something such as this, what you can do is you can send out with the agenda a proxy ballot saying if they're in favor or not in favor.
Okay.
So if people are unable to attend, they can.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I would say in this meeting today, you all should take a vote because it says members in office, which is you. So you need 2/3 from you all and then for the full. So but you vote also with the full council. So I think the vote today would be to accept the motion as is and then the next step would be to send to the full council. And is it 21 days?
It says 21 days
21.
prior to the meeting.
21 days. So this upcoming meeting, we wouldn't hit it. It would be on the following, unless you wanted to call a special meeting.
I would think we could just, if we review it next week, then we could send them out that, if they're not going to be at the next meeting,
Yep.
send out that proxy thing and then
Yeah,
vote.
we could send out that. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Do you think we should send a finished version along with the red line version so they can, because otherwise you wouldn't know what changes have been made?
Yeah, that's what I suggested to Jeff, to delete the comments, leave the changes in the marked up version with the highlighted changes. So,
Okay, so people will know, yeah.
yeah,
Thanks, Brian.
yeah.
So then what we could do is just quickly review that at the meeting. And then if they have any suggestions that we want to consider or whatever, but they better not. So that's all there is to it. So
You'll have
then
time.
we'll let them know that we will send out a finalized copy that they will vote on for the next meeting.
That sounds
Is
like
that good?
Yeah, and I would say for today, if you make if someone makes a motion to accept the draft as is without, with the exception of the formatting, then we can make that official.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Was that Jen?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
second,
I'll second it.
Catherine? All those in favor for accepting the draft as written? Aye. Okay, approved. Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Good work.
Okay. Is there anything we have to talk about as far as the LOB meeting in February for our breakfast? Are we okay with that? Christine, are we all set with that?
I think Lauren is in contact with Kess, which is Robin's legislative aide. Lauren, did we get some feedback from Kess yet? Go ahead.
So we only have it until 1 p.m. She's trying to get us an extension until the 2 p.m. So unfortunately, until that has been signed with that extension, is what we're waiting for. So I have been working with her, I'm assuming, because of everything that's been going on, is why she's having such a hard time getting an answer. But she is aware, she's looking for us. And so Christine and I were talking about possibly getting CREC as a backup if they can't extend the time, because I know you've been worried in the past because you've been booted out. But she is aware, and we're just waiting for them to get back to us.
Actually, Lauren, we had already discussed at prior meetings to have CREC set up as a backup because in case we do get booted out at last minute. We had already decided to do that. Am I correct?
That was what you guys had talked about.
Yeah.
But I know because of what happened this year, we were holding. She was trying to get back to us, so.
Lauren, I think you're
we'll figure something
breaking.
out.
I think you're breaking up a bit.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you could just have that backed up, Missy, what do you, because I thought we had already discussed that. And then Christine, you and Lauren are doing such a great job on this. Is there any way you could take notes on the steps so we can put this in the operational procedures? So in case one of you moves on or something next year that we have this information, it's always easier as you're doing it.
Yeah, we could do a little bit something like an outline because even if it's not
Anyone else?
Cass in
Susan's
her-
breaking up. I can't.
even if it's not Cass in her role anymore, like say there's another legislative aide,
Yeah.
it really does work best to go through the legislature that's with SAC, their aide, because their aide knows the steps in securing all the spaces. So we could do something like
Wonderful.
that. Yeah, like a more general of how to do it.
Great. And Missy, could you take your screen down so I can see everybody's happy smiling face
Oh,
on
yeah.
this snowy day?
Oh, is it snowing?
It's supposed to.
Oh,
We had snow yesterday.
oh.
apologize.
I'm
just
not
got a
sharing
bunch of
anymore, so I
sound
don't
come
know.
in at the very last minute. Susan, you were saying something about the people at the LOB or something about that. I apologize, everyone.
Oh, no, Christine, just that as you guys are doing such a great job for planning this, if you would just write down kind of your steps. So in the future, we have like a guide, and so that would be amazing because I know how super duper organized you are, Lauren. So that would be wonderful.
I wish there were steps to this. Unfortunately, they change every year, but we can definitely put something down because, like we said, every time we go to do a process, the way it's been done in the past, they're like, nope, that's changed. So that's what it looks like we're waiting on now.
Yeah,
It looks
you know,
like-
I host Thanksgiving every year, and every year I can't remember who brings what, and it's the same thing. So, I mean, we forget year to year.
But the aides certainly have been very helpful. We're learning that because, of course, the reps are so busy, and the aides at least know the process for securing those spaces the best and connecting us with the caterers the best.
Yes.
But that definitely is something that works. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all good. Could do that. I'm just looking at the time and we're almost out of it. So, just like any other housekeeping items that we need to discuss?
We don't have to discuss it, but if I don't know who's in charge of this, but if we could someone could just take a peek at the website and notice that going back to February 19th, we have missing minutes and
Yeah.
sometimes missing videos.
We're on it, Susan. Absolutely.
Okay.
We're working with Matt. Like, yeah. So there was,
Okay.
in fact, I just reached out to Laura this morning about one of the videos, and so we are on it. We're getting.
Thank you
everything
so
posted.
much. And
No,
then
you're
is there a new, Lauren, I have a parent that wants to come speak at public comment. Is there a new way for them to do that because of, or how do we get them invited or?
I can just say, Christine, I don't know if you have a protocol, but I know in the past, for example, when parents have reached out to me to learn more about the SAC, what I have done is I've copied in Christine or the past Jolie to say a good way to learn more about the SAC is to attend the public portion of the next full council meeting. And then typically Christine or Jolie or whoever has furnished that individual with the link.
Yeah. And we're securing it now moving forward because of, we have to. It's necessary. So what we are going to do is definitely, if they reach out to us, at least we have a name so we can expect, them, and we can add them, and we could connect them with Lauren to get everything registered that we need to. If we don't know too much in advance, the best thing is just contact Lauren because she could get you fast tracked with the link, with registration. But at least we know, so we'll see that name coming into the space and we can let them in.
Okay. All right. Anything special for the agenda for next week? Is Brian still on? Oh yeah. Is there any presentation or anything outside of your updates that we're going to be covering next week?
Nothing's. We'll try to keep the presentations to the longer meetings if possible, unless there's, something that you all request, but our next one on deck would be the IDA grant. So it'll just be my update as far as this BSE.
Yeah, because we're only 9 to 10:30
Yeah, it's a short
week,
one.
so
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And
All right,
and we're reaching out to remind members that we had the meeting because we seem to be having,
Yeah.
we're having a problem with attendance.
Okay, we'll
Thank
send
you.
them the reminder as well as I'll get the bylaws set to Christine, so we'll send them that also.
And I'll let them know in the body of the email, Missy, that it's the draft bylaws, just so they know, like, as they look into it, I'll
Right.
just put it right in there to, yeah,
Yeah, draft revision.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'll even do draft on the watermark of the document, just so they know this is definitely just a look at. It's not a final.
I had indicated
Okay.
to Anna that I'm not.
Membership, any updates?
No, I'm going to work on scheduling a membership meeting. We do have a potential student member, but the committee needs to review the application. And there is the possibility that we have someone interested in taking over as the chair of the membership committee. I think some final
Wow.
details need to be worked out. Yeah.
How much you
Jovian
paying 'em?
expressed an interest. So, but we're just trying to work out the final details, and I think she would just be fantastic. So we'll see. Keep you posted.
Okay. Sorry, I skipped right over the annual report piece. We're not going to have time to discuss that right now, but I think we should set a date maybe to have a work group meeting to finalize or to because November 21st, things are supposed to be done and ready to submit to CSDE. So, is there another date? And I know that Brandolyn said she had to leave right at 10:30. So can we possibly set up another date to meet before the 21st?
Yeah, I'm available this Friday in the morning. And then
Friday works for me.
Friday morning is good.
I can,
anybody else?
I can do the morning on Friday.
me too.
Friday's good on our end too.
What?
I don't know, Lauren, is it good on your end?
I might be covering a session. I don't know yet.
Okay, it's okay. I'll be there though if they need that support.
All right. So the 15th, we say morning.
14th.
Oh yeah, 15th is Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Unless you're baking,
14th.
Missy.
What's that?
If you're baking, I'll come Saturday.
Okay.
What time?
Is 9 too early for you guys?
9:30 is better.
9:30?
Yeah, 9:30.
Can we do 9:30 to 11? 9:30 to 11. Okay.
I can probably only stay on for an hour, but I'm happy to tune in later if someone needs me after that.
Yeah, if we're done in an
same for
hour,
me.
Brandolyn, then that's fine. I just as in today, I don't know how anybody gets a meeting done in an hour, but it's what it's stuff.
Missy, would you like
Okay.
to send the link or would you like us to send the Zoom link?
I can send a link out,
Okay,
the
sounds good.
Zoom meeting.
All right.
Missy, do we have like an assignment for the legislative committee? What should be included in the annual report? I know in years past I've submitted something, but then as we were looking to see that there was no submission that was in the annual report. So if you tell me what exactly you want from me, I can accomplish that.
Jeff, for membership, if this helps, I looked at what I submitted last year, and I looked at last year's final version of the annual, and that was helpful for me.
Okay, I mean, I'll do that. I know when we looked at it last time we met, we kind of looked at the final report and it just was saying, oh, the legislative committee met on the following days, and there was just a general broad outline and they do this, that, and whatever. The specifics weren't in there, so I'm happy to.
Well, I
what
think
I'll
you
do-
sent. Yeah, you sent out the thing on the on each of the pieces that we worked on. I thought that was good.
Okay, let me just repeat then what I did last year and they'll send it, if whether it gets included in the final report, but it's still gonna be a good recap for the committee as a whole.
Okay. Good, good. All right, so then, Jeff, I'm gonna call on you again. Do you have anything for a legislative update or anything at this time?
No, other than we just talked about, no, thank you though.
Okay. All right, so action items. Missy will send out the Zoom link for a meeting on Friday. Missy will update bylaws, send to Kristen. Kristen is going to
Well, we're sending,
Send.
yeah, and we're sending it with all the red marks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna keep tracking.
Yeah.
With tracking. And Kristen will send the bylaws, minutes, all of that out
All the fun stuff.
for the next meeting, which is the 19th, right?
Yeah, next
Is
Wednesday.
there, Christine, is there a draft agenda started for next week?
Kind of, but it's very
Okay.
like just like that bare bones outline. So let
Okay.
me, is it best for you guys if I put it into Teams and you could like add stuff in through there? Is that the best way to do it? Or do you just want to send me the items? I add it?
I don't think you guys got me access to Teams yet. You
Maybe
were
not.
working
Okay, and I
on it.
did talk to IT about it, Susan, that you're
Yeah,
having
so
issues
the
with
Teams
that.
would not be the best because I can't
All right,
access.
I could just send it through, yeah, the email and then add on the, yeah,
Okay.
then I can add on everything from there, if that works best. Because it doesn't look like it's only that 90-minute session and it doesn't, and a lot of the things like the annual report and stuff, is that, that's still gonna go on there, correct? That you want to update the full council?
Yeah, so under executive matters, I assumed we would
Yeah.
just have the bylaws and review those as well as
Okay.
just the annual report, just let them know where we are at this point in time.
Okay.
I have to hop off to go to another meeting, guys.
Same
Nice
here.
seeing you.
Thanks,
See you
Jen.
Friday.
All right,
Thank
Brian,
you.
I got you.
Friday.
Thank you for sending that.
I gotta go.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone. Okay.
Okay,
Also,
ladies.
I sent, Missy, you probably saw the email. What I did is I took what we talked about at the last full council meeting, the recommendations and priorities and what each group kind of reported back on. So you'll see that I just threw it into the inbox before the meeting today. So let me know if you guys need anything else from that discussion. I didn't receive back from the online group yet, so I don't know if somebody else did.
What did you send out? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Missy. So it's when the full council discussed in their groups.
Oh, the priorities and
And it was really
recommendations.
the share out of what
Yes.
their top talking points were. So I took them and I kind of just summarized them according to what the conversation was.
Okay,
So when you guys do the annual report on Friday, it's something that you could guide
okay.
through the process.
All right, all right. That'll be good. I'll take that and then look at what we have written so far and see if there's anything that needs to be added.
That sounds
Okay.
good. And I'll get the, meanwhile, I want to get the draft agenda going early, just so we get everything out to everybody early enough. So I'll try to get that either today or early tomorrow. And then you guys could just let me know how you want to build anything further off of there.
Okay. All right, yeah, I don't think there's anything major. I just had the,
And it looks like Brian just wanted to update with the IDA grant, and that's really all he's gonna cover.
yeah, I just put BS, yeah, we just have BSE updates, so
Okay,
just let him go with that.
sounds good.
We just have to do the times to end at
Yeah.
10:30.
I'll adjust that as well. All right, that sounds like a plan.
All right,
Does he feel better?
yeah, I don't know, it's wiping me out today.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll get some TLC.
Yeah, okay, all right. It was good to see you.
You as
Lauren, I'm sorry I'm not going to see you tomorrow. That makes me very sad. I think she's frozen or
Oh,
something.
poor Lord, she's been having freezing issues. Oh, I'll let her know. I will let her know you're looking
Okay.
forward to seeing her. You wish you could have seen her tomorrow.
Yes.
All right.
I
Mary.
didn't see all this stuff in chat.
I didn't. I saw some things come through. Okay. She's frozen, but she heard you, Missy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Very good.
All right. Feel better, miss.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.